Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Healing Conversations. My name is Zainab Avni. I am an alignment coach and energy healer. And this podcast, Healing Conversations, is all about natural healing of anything that is physical, mental, emotional, or spiritual. So, without further ado, let me introduce Dr. Voice, Anthony Wade. Dr. Voice, it's
Hi,
wonderful to have you here. Welcome.
hi, thank you for inviting me. And it's always exciting to be talking about things that are useful to humanity, which is what seems to be your game. And it's obviously my game as well to be wanting to bring people into an awareness of themselves in some way, shape, or form. So, yeah, I'm excited. Thank you for inviting me.
Wonderful. And so let's get on the same page and tell us a little bit about you. What brought you into the awareness of the voice and everything that you do with it?
Um, Probably the fact that I couldn't sing. My brother was a fantastic singer. He sang all over the world, and he had a great manager who managed the Bee Gees and him. He was quite famous, Robert Stigwood. And my experience of singing was non-eventual, and I realized this when I sang to this beautiful woman I was in love with on the boat on the way to the Australia on the £10 assisted passage. And I wanted to show off to this girl who I fell in love with on the boat. And she, when I stood up to sing, sang, and out came this rubbish. And there's 2,000 people watching me. And I thought, oh my God. So I went back to my cabin, not to be seen for the rest of the journey for 2 weeks. I then realised I can't hear the notes. I can't hear. You can hear that sound. For me, I will go. Wah! I had no sense of ear, no sense of anything around music, and I found this very hurtful and strange because my family were all musical. My dad had a big jazz band. He was responsible for bringing the Beatles to Chatham in Kent, where we lived. We had this big ballroom. I'd be at the ballroom. There'd be Mick Jagger. There'd be all the stars would come on stage, and I'd be there serving them little drinks as a young boy. And I was noticing that everybody knew music, could do music. I couldn't do it. And it wasn't until I was in Australia I fell upon a singing teacher, a few singing teachers, and they all begged me not to sing. And this infuriated me. So I thought, why? Why can't I sing? Now, this is the journey very briefly, and I'm going to share it with you because it's giving you the reason why I do the voice today. And
Mhm.
what was extraordinary was the fact I couldn't sing. So this really hurt me. So my brother sent me a par Avon in those days. It was not email. And he said, the Bee Gees are at the White Sands Hotel. Go down and meet them. So I phoned them up. So I phoned the White Sands Hotel, and Morris Gibb answered when I asked for them. And Morris Gibb said, "Hello, Morris Gibb." I said, "Oh, hello. I'm Anthony. Oh, Anthony, where are you? Mike said you were here. I'll send a limousine round." Next minute, a limousine picks me up to take me to sit with the Bee Gees and have dinner with them. And I'm sitting there with this big famous band, and then I'm sat in a room with Morris Gibb on a settee up in his suite, and he goes to unveil his whole life to me. And this went on for 12 to 13 hours. And I didn't say a word. I just sat there like that. And he was telling me all these incredible things, all the inside stories of what he's done and what the Bee Gees do and what he was with Lulu. And he just split up with Lulu and how upset he was. All this stuff was happening. And he was like, and then all of a sudden it was cathartic for him. He saw, I could see it happening. He was changing. And I was just sitting listening. So he got up, he come over to me and he cried in my arms. He said, "I can't believe this. You've saved my life. I've never been able to speak to anybody in my life. I go on tour, we're backstage with it. I've never been able to." And he realised that this was an extremely useful thing for him to let off all this stuff. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I was just sitting there. Anyway, so he said to me, "I want to pay you back." I want to give something to you. Please let me give you something. I said, no, no, it's okay. No, no, no. I tell you what, you're coming on stage with us tonight at the Subiaco Oval in front of 33,000 people. No, I'm not. I said, yes, you. He thought I could sing like my brother could. So I thought, oh no. So of course I'm there in the bleachers, and I talked to the guy on the microphone down here who controls the equipment. Turn my mic off, because there's no way I'm going to stand and go, nang, nang, staying alone, nang, nang. I'm going to sound like Chewbacca. So I thought, no, I can't do this. So anyway, I was there and I did the whole thing, got off stage, I was signing autographs all the way back to the limousine. I get in the limousine, go back to the hotel with them. And of course, everybody thinks I'm one of the Bee Gees because I had long hair. And it was like, it was stupid that people wouldn't think I was because I was on stage, you know. And the next day, Bee Gees leave Perth. I'm in Australia, Western Australia. I go back to my job, which I didn't tell them I did, by the way. You'd lose face in those days. I told them I was a disc jockey, famous disc jockey. And I lied. And so, because I went back to my job bending metal in a factory the next day. And the guy come over to me and said, "Hey, mate, did you see the Bee Gees on telly last night?" I said, "Whoa, yeah." And he said, "No, I was there." I said, "Was you?" "Yeah, look, I got a photograph of them." And he showed me a photograph of them getting in the limousine. He said, "Look, that's Barry." It wasn't Barry Gibb. It was me. It was the back of my head because I had the green trousers. I knew it was me. And what could I tell this guy? I couldn't tell him that was me, you know. And he went, "Yeah, they're great, weren't they?" I said, "Yeah, they were great, you know." And that ate me up. That made me feel very strange. So I went off. I went back to the hotel to collect my clothes and stuff because I did stay there for a couple of days with them. And Mungo Jerry came out, who's in the summertime when they were, you know, famous singer, and he had number one hit. And I did see him on the day of the Bee Gees as well, and I introduced him to the Bee Gees. He was so grateful I introduced him to the Bee Gees. They were his, you know, he thought I was one of the Bee Gees. So he come up to me, "Hello, Morris." I said, "No, I'm not Morris Gibb." "No, no." He said, "Oh, how are you doing? Thanks for introducing me yesterday." I said, "No, no, 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 no. Look." He said, "Yeah, I saw you on stage. You were singing." I said, "No, no, I can't sing." "No, rubbish." He said, "You can sing." And he said something to me. He said, "Look, I was a carpenter 6 months ago until I made it, and now I've got a number one record, 30 million hits. Why don't you do music?" So listened to him. I went off, I bought a guitar, and I studied all the chords on the guitar for the next 3 years and developed my singing ability. I had 5 singing teachers who all begged me not to sing until one day I decided to learn all these techniques of vocal dexterity, waking up the acoustical laws of the voice, to try and find why I can't sing. And I went very deep into research of it. So much so, when I'd see all the top singing teachers in the world, and they're all brilliant, they teach Michael Jackson, Stevie Wonder, Celine Dion, or they're all bobbing up and down on the ocean of the voice, you see, they're all there. They've made it because they were prodigies. When they were little kids, they could sing perfectly. These singing teachers, they could sing perfectly. So they're all bobbing up and down on the ocean of the voice. And I looked up at them. I thought, I can't join them. I can't be there. So I dove to the bottom of the ocean and I found some pearls. And I built a ladder. And each rung of that ladder, I noticed the acoustical laws and other singers when I heard them sing. And I was able to send an email to someone, this woman, saying, "You're going to lose your voice in 9 months if you carry on singing like you're singing." And I got an email back saying, "Mind your own business. We got a vocal coach. Thank you very much." 9 months to that day, this person lost her voice for 6 years. and that was Adele. And I knew more about the voice then than I bargained for. I didn't realize. Oh my, how was I able to advise all that? And then I realized this was all to do with my research and understanding of the vocal cords and how we express ourselves. I then later on in life, there I am singing at the Albert Hall, Palazzo della Sport in Italy, on stage with the different big acts, Michael Bolton being there, or everybody, all right, and the Sydney Opera House, and I'm saying, where's those 5 singing teachers now? So I then took the voice and realized something much deeper than just the singing. I realized the voice is the closest thing to God's expression on earth. I've realized the voice sound we make is connected to a vibration that sits within our body, which is what I would call, we've all got the contract. We've all got the contract with the infinite. We all know the infinite. Why? Because it was here before we were, and it would be here when we've gone. So we all know what the infinite is. It's this incredible energy which is creating every single cell, and its imagination is phenomenal. Its brain is amazing. Look at the things it creates. Pick a rock up and see this thing walk out with one eye looking at you. You know, I mean, the imagination of God, or this infinite power, is extraordinary. And then I realized that's the brain of God. This imagination that it does puts a sun up in the sky. It's like, what's this imagination? What's its heart? Then I realize it's the vibration of sound. It's the heart of God. And Robin Williams said it once in a movie, and I thought it was very delightful the way he said it. He said, this is what he said. I'll turn my phone off. He said, music, sound is God's only way of music is God's only way of speaking to us. And so if we look at our body, we're designed, our larynx, our vocal cords are designed to put air through and to make sound. We're designed to do that. And the problem is we have shut down the energy, the pure love energy that God is, the infinite power that it is. Its only way of truly connecting with others is through the sound. A baby, my little 9-month-old granddaughter, came on the phone, and she was going, for the first time in her life, and every one of us went through this. Why? What's she doing? And I looked at her, what's she doing? She's discovering sound. She's discovering sound and the hope that you might be her friend, that you might hear her, she's discovering in a sense that there's a connection, and it's a blissful experience. It's a very enlightening feeling for her. Woo! And she'd go on making sounds and it'd go crazy. And it's like wanting to hear these the energy of her existence, she's recognizing. And I thought, whoa! And what happens? We grow up, shut up. No. We're told no 96,000 times before we're bloody 5. No. Shut up. Be quiet. Da-da. The self-expression, that beautiful energy that sits in our voice, is being told, not now. So when it goes, not now, then when? And we grow up with this feeling of inadequacy, an inadequate self-image in our sound. So because the sound we make is at the front door of who we are. If that is doused, we don't become self-expressive. Now, I've said this before, and I don't think I said it on this podcast here, but we have a contract with the infinite. It's given us a contract. We have a contract. And it's signing that contract with every breath. It's just signed a breath in you now. Signed in. You've just signed in. Just signed in again with the infinite. Until it doesn't sign that, one day it won't. And you won't be here. But when it's signing it, and then it asks for three things for us. This is my understanding of what I've probably learned from years of being in meditation and working with the human voice, 50 years. And that is the power, this infinite, wants you to do three things. Please have fun. I didn't put the birds on the trees and then the sun in the sky and the beautiful things around just so that you can be angry, upset, or pissed off about your life. You're not here to be in misery. And the second thing it asks you is please realize you're in a human body. And it's a miracle. And understand the joy of that. I'm here. I'm breathing. How come? How come? It asks for that. And the third thing, please, I've given you the equipment. I've given you the body. I've given you your life. Please learn to be totally self-expressive in this human body that you have. And don't shut it down, physically or mentally or self-expression wise. And that's the contract. Simple. Very simple. Now, when we were little children, this happens to everybody. You're sitting there painting, that one, and you give it to your teacher, that one, and you give it to that one, and you're all excited because you've got these colours, and then comes red and yellow, and you're really excited with painting red and yellow. You've never seen red or yellow before. It's like, whoa. And it's like you've put it on this sheet and you're tearing these sheets of colouring off your pad, and the teacher's behind you, or a significant other, or even a parent goes, oh, I'll give you a gold star for that one. You're looking up with it. What does that mean? I don't know how to do that again. I'm in self-expression as a little child. You're just free as a bird, and you don't know how to do that again. So now you've got pressure because you want to do that again. Because you see Johnny next to you, he has got a gold star the next day and a chocolate bar. You get nothing. So now Johnny is better than you. Now is born the inadequate self-image. We shut down because we don't think we could do that. And that's what stops us from doing things that we really want to do. No, I'm not that sort of person, actually. I can't do that. I mean, this is the craziness of what we've done as a human being in this existence. We've learned to shut down. Now, the only time the voice gets used in the world today on a mass scale is to create an effect. And it's normally full of greed. The world, its leaders, the inadequacies of this planet have learned to attach their sound directly to their mind. And so what happens, the mind has the power because the voice is backing the mind up. Now, what I teach is to be with your sound and let it touch and be with the breath in your heart. So when you speak consciously. You speak with awareness to your sound. Not, oh yeah, well that's a good idea. That's your mind. It just gabbles on.
Yeah.
And we get behind that, go, and this is the world going round and round in circles, all in their minds, gabbling away like chickens in a pen, right? And not connecting with who you really are in your sound. And that's what I teach. I wake people up to who they really are. I'll never forget one of the prime ministers in this country. He had a, I won't give names, but he had a person next to him who said, who came to me for singing lessons, this guy, and he was looking after this prime minister, and he's his PA, and he wanted to do singing lessons. And when he came to me and he heard how I spoke about the voices, oh, I've got to get you to come and meet the prime minister. You've got to get him in, and he was all excited. But apparently, this prime minister, when he looked at my website at that time, I had on the website, I teach you how to speak from the heart. He never followed through.
But let me just ask one question about, I think what you said about us shutting ourselves down and not expressing ourselves is really at the very core of what is keeping us stuck.
Yeah.
It's really that thing of, even if we are now aware of, earlier childhood challenges, conditioning, all of that, we even if we have awareness of that, we don't know how to get back to ourselves, how to get back to our voice or to our authenticity or to the things that really matter to us. We have no idea how to do that.
Well, you see, direction and growth comes from one place: a thirst to know how to do that. And if you don't have a thirst to know, you will never find out. And so when we say, oh, we don't know how to do that, well, saying we don't know how to do that and then go to bed and then forget about it, there has to be a thirst. Anything you want to learn in your life, anything you want to do in your life, to make a change, you have to have a thirst, and you have to have a yearning motive, a motivation to do it in order to create the discipline to formulate the habit formation to overcome the emotional blocks. Otherwise, you will not change. You stay stuck, as you said. So my job is to try and wake people up to the fact at least they have a voice. I'll give you an example of a story. This girl came into my studio with a boyfriend. The boyfriend was a singing pupil of mine. And he came in my room and he was sitting down. And he said, I'm going to go to the toilet. And he went to the toilet. He's come for a singing lesson. I don't know why he brought her. She was just sat there. And I said, oh. So when he went out of the room, I looked at her and she was devastated. Her face was black. I mean, she's a pretty girl, very pretty, but there was a darkness on her. Her hair, she was really dark. I could feel the energy coming off her. It wasn't bright or loving or open. I said, you okay? She went, yes. And I said, okay. And she's from a foreign country, I won't mention. And she said, oh, and she's like, well, you okay? No, I'm angry. I'm this, that, and the other. And I unfolded her a little bit with questions, which is what therapists do and people do and I do. We ask questions. And I started to unfold her and I could see this girl was in hell. So when the guy come back, all right, shall I go in the booth to sing? Because he goes go in the booth and start learning to sing. I said, no, you're not going in there. She's going in there. And he went, oh, all right. Yeah, love, do you want to go in? And he was very accommodating. And she said, no, I am not a singer. I said, no, I don't care. It's not about singing. I'd just like you to go in the booth, put the headsets on, have these little headsets on in the booth so you can listen to yourself. And I want you to hear yourself in your ears. Okay, would you do that for me? She went, no, I don't want to. I said, oh, please indulge me. So she went in. She put the headsets on. And when she put them on, she says, I said, say hello. She went, hello. And her voice echoed. Because it does. That's why I do this. And she says, I don't like the sound of my voice. I said, that's okay. Can I come out? And she took the headsets off. I said, no, please don't come out. Please bear with me. And then I said to her, I'm conducting an experiment. And this is going to help me in my work and what I do. So would you mind being a part of my experiment? Okay, she stood there. I said, do this for me. Go, just do that for me. She went, no, I cannot. I said, please, just go. And she went, very reluctantly. Then I said, no, I want you to take a breath in through your nostrils. This is very powerful how you breathe, by the way. I'm going to introduce this breathing at this point. This is what I did with her. When you take a breath in through your nostrils, because you're meant to breathe through your nostrils. God designed that, like he designed your voice you're meant to use. And you breathe in through your nostrils, right? And what helps you is if you've got your tongue on the roof of your mouth, because the mouth then stays open. And that creates a backdraft. You pull the air into your nostrils and it's easy for the air to fill up your diaphragm so easily. So people try that now, if you can. You shut your mouth and breathe in through your nostrils only. A big deep breath through your nostrils with your mouth shut. It's tough. Open the mouth, tongue on the roof of the mouth. Now, breathe in through the nostrils and let your ribs come out. Did you feel how easy that is? So easy. So I got her to do this breathing. I said, now, when you breathe in like that, then you make sound after. It's always present. So I went, and she went, and it was much better. I said, good. Can you feel that? Yes, I don't like it. I said, okay, don't worry. Can I come out? I said, no, stay there. And I made her do it probably 20 times. And fill it up. And the last 4 times she went, and it was rich and round. And it had a colour in it. And her boyfriend, you could hear, it was beautifully musical. And I said, keep going. She went, and she did this a few times. And then she went, She cried for 5 minutes. I don't know what happened there. Here we are.
Not sure. Just, it's okay.
And she cried for 5 minutes. And I said, you okay? She, yes. I said, tell me, what's going on? And she said, for the first time in my life, I felt beautiful. It felt beautiful for me to feel me. I could feel me. I've never felt this before. Why? I know why. Because the infinite is in your breath. And when you vibrate sound, sound rides on the surfboard of the breath. And when you give sound your optimum focus, the energy of the breath fills your heart up, because the infinite is only here to fill your heart. The infinite is not here to fill your mind. The infinite doesn't give a damn about your mind. The infinite doesn't care whether you can't afford your bills, you can't afford your gas bill. It doesn't care about that. It was here before the planet was. Was it worried about your bills? You know, it's going to be here when you've gone. Oh, it's going to think about your bills and your problems when it's gone? It's got nothing to do with that. The infinite is a vibration that vibrates in our breathing mechanism, that vibrates in our larynx when we make sound. So when you make sound with a consciousness, which is what I got her to do, she got the feeling of her heart opening. And she cried, and she felt the beauty of her existence. Now, what was powerful was, that wasn't what was powerful. What was powerful was this. When they went, on the way out, she saw a guy coming in, and he went, "Hello, love," and he shook her hand. He's my next pupil. "Hello, oh, you've been seeing the doctor? Oh, he's genius." And they're doing all that. And then he walked in, he sat down. I said, "Right." And they'd gone. And I said, "So how are you today, Nick?" He says, "You know what? I've had a week, it's been terrible." "What's been going on?" "Oh, this has gone on, this is that." And he started going through stuff. I said, "Okay." He said, but then he went, "Who was that?" I said, "Sorry? Who was that?" I mean, who was what? "That girl that went out." "Oh, she's with the guy." He said, "See, I know she's with him, but who is she?" I said, "Why?" "Because her eyes were shining, her face was on fire, and I thought she looked so beautiful. And I just wanted to hang out with her." What was that? I was really attracted to want to talk to her more. I leant forward and I said, "You ought to have seen her when she first walked in." So I have countless stories like this. Countless. I've been doing this 50 years. So I've had hundreds of thousands of people coming to me over the years. And I've watched them change when they connect with their sound and their breath. And the reason why is because we, as a people, as a person, as a humanity, have forgotten that we are a gift from life. We're not here because we designed it and we chose our mum and we chose this, and I don't believe all that. I feel we are a gift from the infinite, and he places us in the body and he breathes us in and out and hopes you're going to keep that contract.
And how do people connect with that notion? I mean, when they have bills to pay, or when they have, life that happens, how do we help people remember that they are a gift, that there is a bigger picture, that they can go inside and release that voice, release that vibration or frequency, and be
Okay,
connected to something big and wider?
that's the wrong question.
Okay. What is a better question?
The wrong question, meaning it's a good question, but it's the wrong question. You're asking, how can we help people then? How can we make this happen? How can we do this? This is what you're doing. You see, there's a film that came out many years ago, and I love this film. I forget the name of it, damn it, but it was Kevin Costner, and he was building this. He built this building to play baseball in, and they said, "You've given all your life, you've given up everything just to build this building." He says, "And it's ridiculous. Why are you doing it?" He says, "Build the building, and the people will come." It's not your job to try and find how and try to push this on people or try to wake people up. It's our job just to be available when they are ready to come. When they are ready to come. And all we can do is have a little sign up, shop open, and hope they come in. Because if you don't, then you're going to be forcing people, trying to preach to people, trying to tell them how they should be, trying to tell them, this is what I'm saying here now. I'm just giving you the download of exactly what was wrong with with human beings and their self-expression. I'm not saying you've got to go and do this and you've got to do that. No, 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 no. You, whoever is listening to this, will come to a point where, I want to find out more about that. Or, oh, yeah, that's a nice story, isn't it? Anyway, next. Well, fine. I don't want to see those people. I don't want to see those people go, oh, yeah, that was a nice idea. Yeah, next. Because they're too flitty. They're going to go on flitting and flitting. They go to this, they go to that, they go to many different things. They're not serious about wanting to change. So if a person's not serious about wanting to change, why are you going to spend your life's work of trying to get them to change if they're not even subscribed to wanting to change, but they're sitting in front of you, maybe paid the money? I don't care about the money. I care about the person who wants to change.
Yeah, very timely, I must say.
How do you mean?
Well, it's for me personally, and the things that I do, it's exactly that. It's thinking, not thinking so much as leaning into really what is it that I'm doing here? How how am I available? What am I doing? How am I doing? Who is coming to me? Who is finding me? All of these questions are
Yeah,
definitely very
yeah,
high up on my agenda at the moment.
yeah. And here it is. It's none of your business because you are a vehicle of change. You're not the change.
Yeah,
So those that want to change will come to the vehicle or not.
or not. Yeah, yeah. I mean, yes, absolutely. I am, of course, aware of that. Yeah, but it brings questions. It definitely brings my questions. What is it that I'm doing? And I guess also a lot of the time, how come I'm attracting so many people that are fleeting, so many fleeters?
Yeah. Well, I know that. I know the answer to that for me, only for me.
Yeah.
Uh, when I get someone that is a time waster,
Hmm.
a kicking tire person, that a TikTok person who's just going on judging, comparing, and they live in the world of judging and comparing. If you spend long enough, an hour or 2 or 3 hours on TikTok, you actually become a judger and a comparer.
Yeah.
And what happens, your eyes get tired, and your eyes are connected to your brain, and your brain gets fatigued, and at the end of the week you wonder why you don't feel like doing the thing you love. You wonder why you don't, because you haven't got the energy, because you've wasted your energy on TikTok, Instagram. Compare, judge, compare. So what you become a person who's logged in to judging and comparing. So your brain has a conflict of interest to your heart's desire, what you want to be doing in your life. It's confusing you. Why spend time on that when you could be spending time getting better at a skill of becoming more aware of yourself, whether it to be in self-expression, whether it's to be singing or speaking better, to stand on a stage and affect millions of people if you want. You can do all this. But no. Oh, he's better than me. Oh, she looks nice, doesn't she? Yeah, oh God, I wish I had that hair. Oh, I wish I'd... And we're gone. We're gone. And it brings you down. So for me, the world is going in a totally different direction to where the heart wants to be. AI, the mind, it's great, it's useful, but it's taking you in a totally different direction away from the heart. And the infinite lives in the heart, doesn't live in your mind.
Mm.
It's got nothing to do with AI.
I like this reminder. I like it a lot. I want to ask a slightly different question. I want to ask about frequencies. So, of course, I think we are all getting clearer and clearer, of course, that we are all energy and everything around us is energy and everything has a frequency. But how do we understand it a little bit better to see how to work with this really?
Well, the only way to understand frequency is to open up and feel its vibration. Because you can't see it. See, if I did this, I'll do this. I've done it before with you. I think I don't know, but if I did this, that's a frequency of sound coming through my body. But you or anybody else who would be in this room with me, they would say, "Where's that coming from?" Because it's everywhere. That frequency of sound is everywhere. And it's connected inside us to our next breath. So you can only be in the moment when you make sound or when you're with your breath. Everybody's books out there, be in the moment. The moment is, moment is. You've got to be in the now. And yet no one's being with their voice. No one's being with their breath. They've been with the concept of being in the moment. Mindfulness. Mindfulness. What's mindfulness? Mindfulness is when you're filling your mind up. Mindfulness. I mean, the thing is to empty your mind, because you can't. When you're a baby, yay, you're making sound like my little grand. She's in her heart. She's in the existence of her own breathing mechanism and her heart. Now, what happens as we grow older? The mind, our human mind, we're fed information about this, study this, so much stuff that our mind, therefore, has so much going on, we get confused. We live then in a world of duality. Your mind will say, "Go and have that cake, it's lovely." And you go, "Oh," and you go and eat it. It says, "What do you eat that for?" Now you feel sick. The same thing that told you to eat it is telling you you're an idiot for eating it. This is a friend. This is your heart. The mind will look at a flower and go, "Oh, that's lovely," and you go crush it after. You say, "What's that?" Well, the heart said it loved the flower, but the mind went, "Yeah." Right? So that duality's in us. You know, it's everywhere. It's in our advertising. Smoke, Marlboro, cigarettes. Warning, this will kill you. We've gone crazy. The world has gone crazy because we're all living in a world of duality. But when you stop to think clearly about what you really want, that's when the heart opens. You say, "Oh, at long last, you're thinking about me. Oh, at long last, you're asking a question about me. Oh, that's nice. What do I want? Well, I want to feel good, right?" You know, in my talks when I get up, it's so funny when I go in a room, there's about 100 people, 200 people, I go, "I know what you want. I know what every one of you in this room want. Right from the day you die, I know what you want. And they all go quiet looking at me. And that is to feel good. You don't get out of bed in the morning to make yourself feel, what, I want to feel bad today. You want to feel good, right? So we're here actually to vibrate at a frequency where we feel good, not down. And so our job to responsibility to ourselves is to find, is to have a menu of whatever we can find that makes us elevate our consciousness and feeling good. It might be, for most people, and happens for everybody, is if I stood up now, if everybody at home stood up now, I ask everybody to stand up, right? And what I want you to go up and down on your heels, just like this, right? If you go up and down on your heels like this for 3 minutes, and as you're doing it, take some breath in. And you're taking some breath in as well, right? And you're going up and down for 3 minutes, taking a breath. You just do this, Everybody do this now. Come on, you do it as well. Come on, stand up. I'm telling you, just try it. Just try it, and then you're going to see what it does to you, all right? As you're doing this, you're going up and down like this, 2 or 3 minutes, all right? You've just now up to the first minute, and then they come to the second minute. Why? Why am I getting you to do this? Why am I getting you to do this? Because what you're doing, you are changing your state of mind. So if you were feeling down or miserable, doing that will just immediately say, you're more alert. The blood's flowing around the body differently. So your mental self that was going, I don't know. Or, I don't know what's going to happen in my life. Or whatever negative attitude you may be harbouring in you, would go. It has to go. You just cleared it away. So guess what? When you make sound, it does the same. So if we all did that. Where are you when you're doing that? I want you to feel that. Everybody try and feel this. You're going, and you're doing A-H-R, as in the chest feeling. Feel it in your chest. You go, And as you keep doing that, if you did that 20 to 30 times a day, you would be present. Mm-hmm. Because the sound is in the moment. You can't make sound in the past. You can't make sound in the future. But your breath is supporting the sound as you make it. So you are in the moment. Why do you think there's 160 countries in the world, prime time Saturday night television is all about singing? Norway's Got Talent, Britain's Got Talent, The Voice Australia, America's X Factor. Prime time television, Saturday night. It's not on sewing, it's not on how to be a lawyer, it's not on all the other things. It's on about the voice singing. Why? Why is the whole world, why was it when I was in Africa, I think, hey, listen to this story. I'm going along in the Jeep, and my friend Bota, he was driving me, and there's all these Zulus beside us with spears, running beside, 80 of them, either side, loads of them. I thought, what's happening? Oh, it's all right, I know the chief of the village. They're all going to the village for an entertaining night. It's their entertainment time. And okay. So, and we turned up in the village, and the chief welcomed us in. Come in. And we all sat down in the jungle, and they're all standing there with these straw skirts on, spears, right in the middle of Zambia. And then he turned the black and white television set on to watch X Factor. 80 of them. Oh, go, go, go. Why? I will challenge anybody on this fact that the sun is burning 10 million degrees in the centre, and it's sending out solar beams. Each solar beam was equivalent to 950 miles long out from the surface. Each one is equivalent to 10,000 atom bombs. Millions of them per second. And what's keeping the sun burning, they found out? the vibration of sound.
Yeah, quite remarkable.
And then you ask the question, why is it then President Carter, when he put up all these satellites years ago, President Carter, who died recently, 100 years old, he said on the satellites, if the planet ended tomorrow, if everybody died, there'd be something left of our existence. And what have they got on there? Hitler. It's fine, speak what they got there. I have a dream. What they got there? Michael Jackson, the Beatles, Elvis Presley. Why? It's no good looking at a picture of Hitler's mouth going up and down. You want to hear it. So, if an alien from galaxies away turns up on our shores and there's nothing here and he sees a satellite and he's made of jelly and he opens up the satellite door or gets in through the cracks, I don't know what he is, but and there he is, this alien standing there, what would he do? He would hear. He would get the vibration of sound, vibrations, and the primordial vibration of sound is in the sound of our voice, and he would get that. And why would he want that? Because inside that jelly, it's keeping him alive.
I love it. Oh, I can hear myself in the echo.
So when you look at that, and let's give a hypothetical situation. A caveman sitting down, and he's got a big picture on a wall, and it's got 20,000 people in an auditorium. And on stage is a picture of Beyonce singing with a microphone with a light behind her, and he's looking at this picture. This caveman, he doesn't know, and he's looking at this picture, and he goes, "Ah, she must be a god." Why? Because she's making sound, which is affecting millions of people. Show me one business deal, show me one inventive thing that's ever happened on the planet Earth, one creative thing that has moved the Earth towards any direction or society into any mould or place that has happened and become fruition through growth. Show me anything out there that's not needed the human voice to begin with. So when we start thinking, oh, our voice. So I gave a talk to all these TV presenters. All these lovely pretty girls, all done up lovely, spent hours getting the makeup on. You know that. You know, they spent hours getting their hair in looking stunning, and they're all 15, and I had to go in and give a talk for 10 minutes, and I just stood there. I said, right, who wants to turn up on television to be the best version of themselves? And they all put their hand up. That's right. Who wants to turn up to be who they really are? They all put their hand up. Right, who works so hard to make sure that you're going to be who you really are? And they all put their hand up. So if you're in the courtroom or if you're with your significant other, a boyfriend going out to dinner, you want to turn up to be the best version of yourself, of who you really are. Is that correct? I went, yes, and they're all excited. That's right. Did you know the closest thing to who you really are is your voice? And he looked at me. It's not the makeup. That's your voice. And how many of you do voice work? None of them. And TV presenters? None of them. Why? Because the voice requires the heart. Mm-hmm. The job they're doing requires the mind. So when you are speaking consciously, you're engaging the heart. You see, I'm taking a breath in through my nostrils right now. I'm giving you a practical demonstration. My whole talk here is a practical demonstration that I don't know what I'm going to say next. So I take a breath in, and then I allow sound to come out. So when I speak, each word is with me. Not, oh, that's a good idea, I'll say that. No, it's in. I speak. I make sound. That's being in the moment. So when I say what I feel, people feel what you say. But most people don't feel. They're busy in their heads thinking.
Yeah. Dr. Weiss, first of all, did you do something that I can now hear myself in echo in one of your devices?
Oh yeah, hang on, yeah. When I made those sounds.
Now I can speak without the echo. Thank you. Right. Yes. So we are coming towards the end of our conversation, but of course I know that we could have probably spoken for a lot longer. And you have so much wisdom and so much to share, and I am so grateful that you came here to speak with us today. So first of all, of course, thank you very much for being here with us today.
Thank you for having me. And thank you for all you lovely people who are listening to this, for your patience. You've only got a certain amount of time left on earth. Why spend it listening to me? You think about it. It's like very powerful our time. Be careful where you spend your time. Like if it's learning and growing you as a person, wonderful. Spend all the time you can developing a skill that's going to fulfill that contract in your life with the infinite. Fantastic. Get going.
I love the reminder of, yes, being in the moment, but really being in your heart and being in your voice.
Yeah.
It is really a very wonderful reminder. Um, right. So, Dr. Voice, all of your social links and information are going to be here in the show notes of the conversation. So wherever people can watch or hear it or listen to it, they can find out more about you. And yes, so any last message to anyone listening or watching before we say goodbye for the day?
Before you speak, take a breath in through the nostrils with your tongue on the roof of the mouth. Then speak. And you tell me, or you tell yourself, ask yourself when you do that, oh, hello. And you say, oh, hello, whatever it is. Notice how conscious you've become. Really conscious.
Definitely something to practice.
Yeah. And it is a practice. It is a practice.
Yeah.
It's a skill. Discipline is a skill. Motivation is a skill. And you don't have it naturally. You have to skillfully work it out, what you want to do to be where you want to go in life. Otherwise, you don't go anywhere. You TikTok.
Yes. Yes. Well, Dr. Weiss, thank you so much again for being here with us. And for anyone watching or listening, please do like, comment, share. This is how we bring this information to the world, and we're doing good things here. So thank you everyone for listening or watching, and until next time. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Nice to see you again, Enid.
Thank you.